You are now listening to the Highly Evolved Podcast. You can find this channel on Twitter, Gab.ai, BitChute, and Minds.com. This is a Real American Patriot channel for Real American Patriots. If you're not a Real American Patriot, please exit the channel. Furthermore, we are not sponsored by any outside interference. That means we're unscripted, unrehearsed, and unedited. With that being said, transmission will commence momentarily.
How you guys doing? Welcome to the Highly Evolved Podcast. You can find me on Minds.com, BitChute, Twitter, Gab.com. Most importantly, like, share, and subscribe on YouTube because we're writing this until the wheel fall off. All right, on that note, guys, let's start the show. On this episode, I want to share an article with you from Zero Hedge. I'll leave a link in the description. It's entitled, well, let me show you what it's entitled, all right? So let you guys know, you guys are I appreciate you guys' time. And without you guys, this channel wouldn't happen. And I greatly appreciate it. And there you go, the article. It said, most Mexicans said illegals from Central America should be deported. All right, this becomes surprising because, all right, let's continue. Let's just read the article. All right, a poll conducted by the Washington Post found that clearly majority of Mexicans think migrants should be deported back to their home country. Most importantly, migrated from Central America, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador. These are people from Mexican, because these people, when they come to Mexico, they destroyed Mexico. This is why. At first, it was nitty gritty. Now they're starting to realize that open borders is not a good idea for Mexicans. All right. Not only they had to deal with Central America, they had to deal with the influx of African migrants as well. Because if you're not aware, there's African from Cameroon, Sierra Leone, Congo. They fly to South America, then march their way up to Central America, then march all the way to Mexican borders, and all of a sudden you see all these Africans in Mexico, and they be like, "What the heck is going on here?" And then they start to realize, "Wait a minute, this is open border policy." All right, and they begin not to like it. But let's read this article. The survey, in which they conducted partnership with Mexico and Reforma newspaper, found that Mexicans who are deeply frustrated with migrants traveling through the country of Central America. 6 out of 10 Mexicans said migrants are a burden to their country and take jobs and should belong to citizens. The poll found, oh, exactly. That's how Americans feel. Hello. That's how Americans feel. Now they know how the American feels when you guys come in illegally. All right. 55% of Mexicans also support deporting migrants who go through the Mexican and United States, compared to 7% who want to give them residency in Mexico. Okay? They're starting to wake up, guys. All right? Now, the reason this poll is conducted by the Washington Post, right? They want to pick people. The thing with Washington Post is they usually pick people that they think is conducive to their narrative, right? That would agree with giving the answer they want to hear. But the number is so startling, they have to show you the real numbers. Right? This number is startling. They would not expect this. So they can't hide and manipulate the numbers. All right? All right. Most Mexicans say Central American migrants should be deported to their country of origins. All right? Look at 55% deport them to the country of origins. Give them temporary residency is 33%. Give them residency in Mexico, 7%. And no opinion, 6%. Wow. And the question is, what should Mexicans do with the migrants from Central America crossing through trying to get to the United States? All right. Most Mexicans say Central Americans should be deported in the country. 55%. All right. Clearly, right? Now you know how Americans feel. All right. For the same reason that they feel. The result of the poll completely contradicts the narrative of what the proper border control and the incentivizing mass immigration and the views of shredded of racism of Trump supported. Exactly. It proves the reason why Trump supported Trump and why Trump said like this, why immigrants is the single most important issue right now. More important than healthcare, educations, all right, wars, all this stuff. Because immigration affect all these other problems. Immigration affect healthcare, educations, poverty, homelessness. It all affect that. That's why it's the single most important issue. Once you get rid of illegal immigration, you get rid of you figure out and solve a problem for all these other problems. The Washington Post acknowledged that the number defied the percentage of Mexico and sympathetic to the surge of Central American, and that they proved that Mexicans have turned against the migrants transitioning through their own country. Exactly. Well, Washington Post didn't expect it. They want a number that reflect their opinion. Because Washington Post is fake news. Right? They want a number that catered to their agendas. But they weren't able. They weren't. The number was so high, they weren't able to hide it from them. It was like a landslide. The number is so high that is not conducive to their narrative. Right? They want to make the number of Mexicans accepting this, but it's not. The Mexicans are waking up. Right? Mexican citizens are more in line with Trump views and on immigration than virtually every Democrat presidential candidate running. Exactly. Right? Let that sink in, all right? So Washington Post is this whole poll totally contradict Washington Post. Because Washington Post is fake news. They clearly have a narrative. They tried to create a narrative, but they couldn't do it because the number surpassed their expectation. Will Democrats say Mexican are racist now? All right? This is from Robbie Steinbeck, all right? Will they say it's racist for having this view? All right? 6 out of 10 Mexicans say migrants are a burden to their country, taking jobs and should belong to citizens. Exactly. That's the same view Trump supporter feels. 55% of Mexicans support deporting migrants through to Mexico and the United States. Right? Will Democrats say Mexicans are racist now? Right? Because look, the number is startling. I mean, the number set proof itself. Right? They don't want these people here because of the negative effect happened on our economy, not only our economy, on Mexico's economy as well. Right? And it's already proven that it's not just Mexican people or Central American people coming through this. There's African migrants, and there's terrorist organizations. There's Al-Qaeda, right? There's ISIS members. All these terrorist people are coming through the borders. And the Democrats or people who sympathize to all these migration don't understand this sex trafficking, right? Drug dealers, drug warlords. All right, this is why we need a border. This is why this is such a pro-border channel. All right, my channel is such a pro-border channel. This is why we need the border so bad. All right, with the border, it'll stop all these stuff. Just recently, they have this altercation where a Mexican military was caught on American side of the Rio Grande River, and it was chased out by our border patrol. Right? It was wondering why is the Mexican military on our side of the Rio Grande? All right. Some people might say it's a nefarious act because some of these Mexican military, they work for the cartels. Now that speaks volume when a cartel are telling the military what to do. That's crazy, right? That's kind of scary. If a cartel are able to dictate by the military. Dictate the military. That shows you how corrupt Mexico is right now. All right? That means the Mexican government are not in charge of the cartel, in charge of the military. The cartel is. All right? If you hadn't heard the story, right? A CBP caught a guy in a Mexican uniform over the Rio Grande observing the area. They suggested that he might observe the area to look for the leaf path of resistance for drug smuggling. So they say he might be working for the cartel as well. Right? This is why it's so prominent that we need the wall. Right? It's not a bad thing. It's because for our own protections. It's not to say that we don't want immigrants. If you want to immigrate to America, do it the legal way. Go to port of entry. When you go through the port of entry, right, and request asylum, you are protected. Because you did it the legal way. You're not being classified as a criminal. All right? When you go through the legal way, you're not going to be classified as a criminal. All right? That's what they need. That's what these people don't understand. But I digress. Let me know what you think. You think we need the wall now? You think Mexicans are racist because they have this kind of ideology? You think these migrants are a burden on Mexico? Not only Mexico, the U.S.? Let me know you agree. Because of what I'm saying, YouTube don't want to monetize my channel because I'm unscripted, unrehearsed, unedited. That means I can say what I want without be bound by any outside interference. Alright, if you like what I do, please like, share, and subscribe. Because when you like, share, and subscribe, it encourages me to make more videos. When I make more videos, I saturate YouTube algorithm. When I saturate YouTube algorithm, right, it make my video more expansive to a broader audience. Within those audience, I might enlighten them to think for themselves. Because group thinking is very detrimental to society. Group thinking is communism, Marxism, socialism, Cuba, Venezuela, Russia, North Korea. Those are group thinkers. Democrats, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, those are group thinkers. They created policy that affects people like me and you, that we don't want to be affected. They take rights away from you, make you pay higher taxes, implement all these unnecessary programs. That's what affects you. That's why, because of that, I'm not taking any donations. Because if you're able to think for yourself, that's a good enough incentive for me. But anyway, let me know what you think. Leave a comment below. This is the Highly Evolved Podcast. I know the time is very precious and not trying to waste your time. My name is Stefan, and I thank you for joining me on the show. And you guys have a good day. Peace.